What's up, guys? Ruben Tech back with another hot take for you on the Pixel 9 series of phones sold by Alphabet. Stat Counter came out today. This is from Counterpoint Researcher. They are revealing that Google saw a 20% increase in market share Q3 2024 versus Q3 2023. Now, some of this has to be attributed to Google bumping up with their release of the the Pixel 9 series. However, this is still absolutely incredible. Now, if we look on here, we see that Apple's down 2%. That is not a surprise at all. As we know from their earnings, they are selling less iPhones. However, Samsung down at 13% is a little bit shocking. We have known they've been in turmoil. The Z Flip 6 and Z Fold 6 did not sell too well. My feeling on that is because there was no differentiation from the 5. However, to be down 13% year over year, that is, wow, as a big amount. But for Google to be up 20%, that to me is absolutely mind-blowing. And it makes me wonder if we are going to change the thesis on their hardware. The reason I ask this is that in my deep dive, I have said that at times it feels like Google's phones are simply an afterthought. When they released their Nexus series, it was simply put as a premium Android device to show other vendors how it's done. They weren't there to really compete with Motorola, with HTC or Samsung. They were just like, hey, this is what we think a phone should be like. They never sold in large numbers and they didn't try to push it. When they invented their Pixel series, it was kind of the same thing. They really didn't make a strong push in anything on that series until they released Pixel 7, and then all of a sudden it looked like they wanted to compete in this space. Now this is significant, okay? Nexus Ben is reporting over here that Google's strong demand for Pixel 9 seems like an understatement. He's getting that quote from the earnings call. Sundar Pichai, you can bring this up. This is just a transcript. Sundar Pichai said, "App made by Google, we unveiled our latest Pixel 9 series of devices featuring advanced AI models, including Gemini Nano. We've seen strong demand for these devices and they have already received multiple rewards." Now, this is all he said, right? That's all he said about the Pixel 9. However, I mean, that's understandable because at an earnings call like this, it's all about AI in the cloud. And Pixel 9, I'm sure whatever it's making, it's very small right now. However, Ben is showing highest ever quarterly sales for the Pixel 9 as reported by Counterpoint Research. 20% year-over-year growth in the US, very important. Pixels now make up over 14% of tracked traffic in the US. This is absolutely, in fact, when this came out yesterday from Stat Counter, I did not believe this. Look at this. This is how the smart market has been forever. It's been so stagnant, okay? Flat. Apple up here in the US over half. Look at this drop from Apple. 57 to 51% in 1 month. And Google picks up 5 to 14. I still wonder if that's skewed or somehow wrong. But even if it's off by a factor of 2, it's doubled, that would still be a tremendous amount. Most importantly, Pixel 9 Pro XL joins the top 10 best-selling premium phones in the US. What? Apple has dominated. To say Apple has dominated this list would be the understatement of a century. This list it's literally sometimes like 8 Apple phones and then 2 Samsung phones. And maybe, a lot of times you'll get up to 3 Samsung phones, but it is dominated by Apple phones. And so for Pixel 9 Pro XL to join this list is absolutely incredible, okay? And it starts to make me wonder, what could the Pixel 9 series do? Look at this. Let's not even worry about Apple. Now, it has been reported that some of these users are increased from coming over from Apple. But what if, forget about Apple, what if in the duopoly, Google just picks off the Samsung users, okay? That would lead to incredible margins for Google. Look at Apple right over here. We see that they brought in $94.9 billion, and I believe the number they reported was $46 billion of that was off of iPhones. So it's like 50% of their revenue comes from the iPhone. Now, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We know that Google is not going to get to that level. I mean, maybe they do, but even if they were, it would be a long time. And in the amount of time it would take to get to that level, I imagine that the market's going to change. I really do believe that Zuckerberg is onto something with this AR. However, that aside, what if we just look at the Pixel 9 Pro not being an afterthought, not being an idea to just lock people into the system, which it does. I picked up the Pixel 9 Pro. I put this phone in my hand at Best Buy. I was very happy with my Z Flip 5, but I put this phone in my hand. This was the best feeling phone I've ever had. I've had phones from Xiaomi. I've had phones from Huawei, premium phones, back when you could get a Huawei. I've had phones from Samsung, the best phones. I've had iPhones. Okay, this hands down was the best phone I've ever held in my hand. I had to buy it. I bought it. This phone keeps people in their ecosystem. Okay, Gemini is featured in this phone, is baked into every aspect of it in a way that the Samsung just cannot match. Okay, I'm using little things from Gemini now that just without even thinking of it. The Pixel 9 Studio is a phenomenal tool. All these things up until now, they really haven't figured out how to be useful to people, but Google is starting to figure it out. So if they are able to get people, these devices into people's phones, not only is it possible that they could start driving some significant, maybe, I'm not saying tremendous, but some significant revenue from their hardware, it is even more possible that they are really going to lock people into their AI. Because if you're using this phone, you're going to be using Gemini. It's baked into every part of this phone. It just becomes very natural. They're doing it so naturally on this. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Can Google's Pixel lineup become a force in the smartphone market? Can Google actually look at their hardware department as not just keeping people locked in to their environment, which it does greatly, but actually producing some real revenue for them? What do you think? Hey, if you could hit the like button, please, and also subscribe if you haven't. We are trying to build a channel. I would really appreciate it. Have a great day.